Pick up a book. You read it cover to cover. You feel inspired. But 2 weeks later, you can barely explain what it was about. Sound familiar? It happens because our brains are not designed to hold on to random information. They're survival machines. That's why you remember the exact lyrics of a song that played during your first heartbreak, but not the 5 productivity hacks you read last month. The brain holds on to what feels emotional, urgent, or different. Everything else, it fades. The result? We spend hours learning, but retain almost nothing. And here's the problem. In today's world, information is power. The ability to learn and recall is what separates those who stay stuck from those who move ahead. So the real question is, how do we trick our brains into treating what we learn as urgent and unforgettable? For years, I was frustrated. I read book after book on psychology, productivity, self-improvement. I loved them. But if you asked me what I learned a month later, I would stutter. That's when I realized something. Some people seem to always remember. When they talk, they can recall quotes, stories, examples, lessons from books they read years ago. At first, I thought they must just be gifted. Maybe they had photographic memory. But then I discovered the truth. It wasn't a gift. It was a system. And once I understood that, everything changed. 1. Take notes while you read. 2. Revisit and rewrite those notes. 3. Organize everything into themes. It sounds simple, but the effect is life-changing. Let's dive deeper. Step 1. Active reading. Notes while you read. Most people read like they're scrolling social media. Eyes move across the page, but the brain is half asleep. Active reading flips the switch. You highlight, you underline, you scribble reactions in the margins. Suddenly, the book becomes a conversation, not a lecture. Imagine you're sitting across from the author at a cafe. Would you just stare silently while they speak? Of course not. You'd ask questions. You'd write down the best things they said. That's what active reading does. It wakes your brain up and forces it to care. Step 2. Revisit and rewrite. Here's where most people drop the ball. They finish a book, close it, and move on. But memory doesn't work that way. If you don't revisit, you forget. So after you finish, take your highlights and rewrite the best ones. Put them on index cards, in a notebook, or in a digital app. The act of rewriting is powerful. It forces you to think. What does this mean? Why does it matter to me? How would I explain it to a friend? This is how your brain decides, okay, this information is valuable. Keep it. It's like carving a path through a forest. The first walk makes a faint trail. Each revisit clears the path until it becomes permanent. Step 3. Organize into themes. Now imagine you do this for 20 books. You'll have a pile of random notes, right? Here's the secret. Don't keep them random. Sort them. Put all your discipline notes in one place. All your creativity notes in another. All your success notes together. What you're doing is building an external brain, a library of wisdom, organized by theme that you can revisit anytime. When you need inspiration, you don't dig through memory. You just pull out your notes. It's like Google, but for your life. Let's zoom out for a second. Memory has 3 stages. 1. Encoding. You experience the information. 2. Storage. Your brain decides whether to keep it. 3. Retrieval. You recall it later. Most people only do step 1. They read, they experience the book, and then they stop. No wonder they forget. This system strengthens all 3. It's not about being gifted. It's about giving your brain the right signals to remember. I decided to test this on one book. Normally, a month later, I'd forget everything. But this time, I slowed down. I highlighted key ideas. I wrote them out. I made 20 note cards. And here's what happened. When someone asked me about the book, I didn't freeze. I could explain it clearly, with examples. The best part? I actually started using the lessons in my daily life, because remembering is only half the game. The real win is implementation. What most people get wrong. Now you might be thinking, this sounds slow. And you're right, it is. But here's the truth. What's the point of finishing 50 books a year if you can't apply a single lesson from them? It's better to read 5 books deeply and change your life than skim through 50 and stay the same. Reading isn't a race. It's not about speed. It's about impact. Here's where it gets exciting. This system isn't just for bookworms. Students, instead of cramming and forgetting, use this method. Your exam prep will be easier because you'll already understand and remember the material. Entrepreneurs, keep a notebook of lessons about leadership, marketing, and decision-making. When challenges come up, flip through your external brain for instant answers. Personal growth. If you're trying to build better habits, collect and revisit notes on discipline and mindset. Soon, those ideas will feel natural, like second nature. This system works everywhere. And here's the bigger picture. Success works just like memory. You don't become successful by accident. You build systems that guarantee progress. People who succeed don't rely on motivation. They rely on structure. They don't just say, I'll try harder. They design systems that make growth automatic. This memory system is proof. Once you have a structure, remembering isn't luck anymore. It's inevitable. Here are the most important lessons this system taught me. 1. Slower is better. Deep learning beats fast reading. 2. Repetition is key. Every time you revisit, the memory strengthens. 3. Systems beat willpower. Once the system exists, you don't have to think about it, you just use it. 4. You don't need to remember everything. You only need to remember what matters. The system filters the noise. And maybe the most powerful lesson, remembering information gives you confidence. It feels good to know you're not just collecting books, you're collecting wisdom. So here's my challenge for you. The next time you pick up a book, don't just read it. Highlight one key idea per chapter. At the end, rewrite 5 big takeaways. Sort them into themes. That's it. You've started building your external brain. Do this for 5 books, then 10, then 20. By that time, you won't just read differently, you'll think differently. If this video helped you, subscribe, because this channel isn't about motivation for one day. It's about systems that make you smarter, sharper, and more successful for life. Your brain isn't broken. It just needs a system. And now you have one.